We shall do some more problems on root locus. Today's class I will do slightly complicated problems. These types of problems used to appear in the earlier question papers of VTU. So we don't know when your time is bad. Therefore, keeping that in mind, let me do conceptual problems, slightly complicated, but they have got the potential to be asked in the examination. Please keep this in mind. The problem is g of s h of s is equal to k divided by s into s plus 4 into s square plus 4s plus 20 k greater than 0. Sketch the root locus plot. Sketch the complete root locus diagram. Solution. Step number 1, plot poles and zeros. Plot poles and zeros of g of s h of s. Plot poles and zeros of g of s h of s on the s plane. How do you get poles? Poles are s is equal to 0. S plus 4 equal to 0 implies s is equal to minus 4. S square plus 4s plus 20. Use calculator to find the roots. You will get the roots. S is equal to minus 2 plus minus j4. Zeros. No finite zeros. Because there is no polynomial of s in the numerator of the transfer function g of s h of s. I repeat, there are 4 poles and no finite zeros. Let me plot these poles and zeros in the s plane. Again we choose 1:2 scale. S plane has got real axis sigma, imaginary axis j omega. The scale we are going to choose is 1:2 scale. Scale is 1:2. So this is the pole at the origin. Then this is the pole at minus 4. This is minus 2. Minus 2 means actually 4 centimeters. Keep this in mind. 1:2 scale. Don't go by this graduation what I have marked here. Here this graduation stands for J2, right? J1, J2, J3, J4. J1 means 2 centimeters. J2 means 4 centimeters, like that. So these are the complex poles. This is minus 2 plus J4 and this is minus 2 minus J4. These are the complex poles. Where poles are there, please write k equal to 0. Where poles are there, we will write k equal to 0. K equal to infinity points are zeros. Second step. K is equal to 0 points are s is equal to 0, minus 2 plus minus j4 comma minus 4. K equal to infinity points are s is equal to infinity. Next step. A branch of the root locus always starts on a pole. Pole means k equal to 0 and ends on a 0. 0 means k equal to infinity. All these are routine steps. Fourth one, number of branches. Number of branches of the root locus is equal to p or z, comma, whichever is greater. In this case, p is 4, z is 0. Therefore, number of branches is equal to 4. There are 4 branches. Step number 5. Step number 5. A point on the real axis. A point on the real axis will lie on the root locus if number of poles plus zeros equals an odd number to the right of the point considered. To the right of the point considered. To the right of the point considered. Let me take a point between 0 and minus 2 and see to the right of that point. Let us assume this is the point. If you see to the right, you have got one pole and no finite zeros. Therefore, if you add them, you get one odd number. Now you see here the rate of minus 4. Correct? There are 3 poles and no finite zeros. If you add, you get 3. Hence, real axis locus lies only between 0 and minus 4. If you take a point here, see the right of this point. Correct? Right of this point, then you have got 4 poles and no finite zeros. If you add, you get 4, an even number. Therefore, root locus does not lie to the left of minus 4. Next, we will go to asymptote calculations. Sixth one, number of asymptotes is equal to p minus z. P is 4, z is 0, is equal to 4. Centroid sigma A is equal to summation finite poles minus summation finite zeros divided by p minus z. Add all pole locations. 0, minus 4, minus 2 plus j4, minus 2 minus j4. There are no zeros, divided by 4 minus 0. So plus j4 minus j4 cancels. Minus 8 by 4 is minus 2. Phi a is equal to 2 cube plus 1 into 180 degrees divided by p minus z. Q takes 4 values, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Q takes 4 values because number of asymptotes equals 4. Q is equal to 0. If you put in this expression, you get phi a is equal to 45 degrees. If you put Q is equal to 1, you get phi a is equal to 135 degrees. If you put Q equal to 2, you get phi a is equal to 225 degrees. If you put Q equal to 3, you get phi a is equal to 315 degrees or minus 45 degrees. Now let me plot the asymptotes. This is asymptote number 1. This is asymptote number 1, which I call AS1. What angle it makes? It makes an angle of 45 degrees. Therefore, it crosses the imaginary axis at J2. This is asymptote number 1. This angle is 45 degrees. If you produce this asymptote backwards, how did you get how did you get 45 degrees? Tan inverse of 2 by 2. That means tan inverse of 1 is 45 degrees. If you produce this backwards, you will get asymptote number 3. What angle asymptote number 3 makes? It makes an angle of 225 degrees. That means this angle is 225 degrees. If I write the angles over here, it becomes very cumbersome. Therefore, I will not write these angles. This is asymptote number 4. I will write AS4. It crosses imaginary axis at minus J2. If asymptote number 4 is produced backwards, you get asymptote number 2. So these are the 4 asymptotes. Asymptote AS1 makes an angle of 45 degrees with respect to real axis. Asymptote number 2 makes an angle of 135 degrees with respect to real axis. Asymptote number 3 makes an angle of 225 degrees with respect to real axis. Asymptote number 4 makes an angle of minus 45 degrees with respect to real axis. Next step. Next step. A root locus is always symmetrical. A root locus is always symmetrical with respect to real axis. Step number 8. To find breakaway points. To find breakaway points. The system characteristic equation is 1 plus k divided by s into s plus 4 into s square plus 4s plus 20 equal to 0. This implies take LCM and cross multiply. Take LCM and cross multiply. That gives you s square plus 4s into s square plus 4s plus 20 plus k is equal to 0. Remove the brackets. S to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 20 s square plus k. Multiply by 4s now. This is, you get 4s cube plus 16s square plus 80s plus k. If you add, equal to 0. If you add this, you get s to the power 4 plus 8s cube plus 36s square plus 80s plus k equal to 0. So I'll write the characteristic equation over here. S to the power 4 plus 8s cube plus 36s square plus 80s plus k equal to 0. This implies k is equal to minus s to the power 4 minus 8s cube minus 36s square minus 80s. dk by ds equal to 0 implies minus 4s cube minus 4s cube minus 8 into 3 is 24, 24s square minus 72s minus 80 equal to 0. Multiply throughout by 4, s cube plus 6s square. This is 4s cube. This is 8 into 3, 24, 72s. So if you divide this by 4, what you get? If you divide this 72 by 4, you get 28s plus 18s plus 20 equal to 0. S to the power 3, you get s to the power 3, 24 by 4 is 6, 72 by 4 is 18, 80 by 4 is 20. So the roots of this equation you find. If you find the roots, you get s is equal to minus 2 plus minus j 2.44. These are the three roots. Please don't be under the impression complex breakaway points cannot exist. Compulsorily we have to find the value of k at the complex roots also. This is the equation connecting k and s. In this equation put s is equal to minus 2. If you put s is equal to minus 2 in this expression, you will get 64. If you put s is equal to minus 2 plus j 2.44 in this expression, you will get k 100. See, k is real. Therefore, complex breakaway points will exist. The value of k at s is equal to minus 2 minus j 2.44 also is 100. So what is important over here is, at all the roots you get k values which are real and positive. Hence there are three breakaway points. I am going to write here, at a breakaway point, the value of k should be real and positive. Hence we have three breakaway points given by s is equal to minus 2 plus minus j 2.44. This is the first time we are seeing that complex breakaway points are coming into play. Normally the complex breakaway points will come into play when the real part of this complex poles happens to be the midpoint of these two real poles. I repeat, the complex breakaway points will normally come when the real part of these two complex poles is the midpoint of these two real poles. What is the real part of these two complex poles? Minus 2. What is the midpoint of these two real poles? Minus 2. When they coincide, complex breakaway points are likely to come. We have got complex poles, hence we calculate angles of departure. To find the angles of departure. To find angles of departure of the complex poles. Again I write the pole zero diagram. X-axis is sigma, y-axis is j omega. These are the two complex poles. These complex poles have got real part minus 2, imaginary parts plus j4 and minus j4. The last pole is at minus 4. We want to find the angle of departure of this pole. We want to find the angle of departure of this complex pole. Therefore, to this complex pole, from other poles and zeros, we shall draw vectors. This angle phi p1 is equal to 90 degrees. This is the angle phi p2. This is the angle phi p2. This is the angle phi p3. This is an isosceles triangle. Phi p3 is equal to 180 degrees minus phi p2. So that means phi p2 plus phi p3 is 180 degrees. Angle of departure of the pole at S is equal to minus 2 plus j4 is equal to 180 degrees minus sigma angle made by poles minus sigma angle made by zeros is equal to 180 degrees minus phi p1 plus phi p2 plus phi p3. No zeros, therefore this summation is 0. Phi p1 plus phi p3 is 180 degrees. Phi p1 is 90 degrees. Therefore this angle works out to be minus 90 degrees. Angle of departure of this complex pole is minus 90 degrees. Hence, angle of departure of the pole at S is equal to minus 2 minus j4 is plus 90 degrees. Angle of departure of this pole is minus 90 degrees. Angle of departure of this pole is plus 90 degrees. We have drawn vectors to this pole because we are interested in the angle of departure of this pole. Next step, to find intersection points on j omega axis and the range of k for stability to find the intersection points on j omega axis and the range of k for stability. The system characteristic equation is s to the power 4 plus 8s cube plus 36s square plus 80s plus k is equal to 0. Letting s is equal to j omega gives omega to the power 4 minus 8j omega cube minus 36 omega square plus 80j omega plus k is equal to 0 plus j0. Equating real and imaginary parts. On both sides we get omega to the power 4 minus 36 omega square plus k, the real part, equated to 0, call equation 1, and minus 8 omega cube plus 80 omega equal to 0, equation 2. Omega cannot be 0. This implies minus 8 omega square plus 80 equal to 0. This implies omega is equal to plus minus root 10 radians per second. Hence from equation 1, what is k? K is minus omega to the power 4 plus 36 omega square, at omega is equal to plus minus root 10. So you get k value as 260. Now I'll sketch the root locus. Let me sketch the root locus and then explain it to you, it will be better. Let me sketch it first. So this is the real breakaway point. This is the breakaway point, which is s is equal to minus 2. Value of k is 64. This is the complex breakaway point. Complex breakaway point is what? S is equal to minus 2 plus j 2.44. Value of k is 100 at this breakaway point. The real part of this breakaway point is minus 2. Imaginary part is 2.44. This is also a complex breakaway point. S is equal to minus 2. minus j 2.44 and k is 100. This is the intersection point on the j omega axis. What is this? This value is j root 10. Value of k is 260. This is complex break. This is the intersection point on the negative j omega axis. This is minus j root 10. K is equal to 260. This is the angle of departure. This is the angle of departure. Phi d is equal to minus 90 degrees. This is the angle of departure. Phi d is equal to plus 90 degrees. All the details are written. This is a very typical problem. There are 4 poles. All the 4 poles must go to infinity to meet the zeros. Let this pole can select either asymptote 1 or asymptote 2. Let us assume that this pole selects asymptote, this pole selects. Say this pole can select asymptote 1 or asymptote 2. By symmetry, this pole, first I will finish this pole. This pole, let us assume that it takes asymptote AS1. This pole, let us assume that takes asymptote AS3. That means this goes towards k tending to infinity. The asymptote should be, the root locus should be parallel to the asymptote. So this is branch number 1. For the sake of information, write 1 here, branch number 1. This is branch number 2. Let us assume that this pole selects asymptote number 2. So this is branch number 3. This pole, let us assume that it selects asymptote AS4. This is branch number 4. What I have written here 1, 2, 3, 4 is as per my convenience. This pole, instead of selecting asymptote 1, it can select asymptote 2 also. In that case, this pole will select asymptote 1. See, these 2 poles have got option to choose AS2 or AS1. This pole has selected AS1. This pole has selected asymptote number 2. If this pole selects asymptote number 2, then this pole shall select asymptote number 1. Now these 2 poles can select either AS3 or AS4. In the present context, this pole has selected asymptote number 4. This pole has selected asymptote number 3. The other option is this pole can select asymptote number 4. Then this will select asymptote number 3. What is important is symmetry. This figure is symmetrical with respect to real axis. These are the 2 complex breakaway points, and this is the real breakaway point. There are 3 breakaway points. In the direction of the arrows, k should be increasing. So the value of k here is 0, the value of k here is 100. The value of k here is 260. In the direction of the arrows, k is increasing. See here the value of k is 0, here the value of k is 64, here the value of k is 100, and it is going towards infinity. So please, I repeat, this pole can select either AS1 or AS3. This pole also can select either asymptote 1 or asymptote 3. Presently in the figure I have drawn, this pole has selected asymptote number 1 and this pole has selected asymptote number 2. It can be interchanged also. What I mean is this pole can select asymptote number 3 and this pole can select asymptote number 1. Same logic here also. These 2 poles can select either AS3 or AS4. In the present case, this pole has selected asymptote number 4 and this pole has selected asymptote number 2. This pole can also select asymptote number 2. In that case, this will select asymptote number 4. So, trace the branches. A branch has to start on a pole and end on a 0. A branch has to start on a pole, end on a 0. See this, in the figure that I have written, this is branch number 1. This is branch number 3. This is branch number 2. Numbering is very arbitrary. This is branch number 4. Don't go by 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to identify the branches for your convenience, I have written 1, 2, 3, 4. In the examination, don't write 1, 2, 3, 4. This is for your understanding. Now, for system to be stable, we have to select the values of k that will make the root locus to lie on the left hand side of the S-plane. When k varies from 0 to 260, root locus is on the left side of the S-plane. Hence, for closed loop stability, k should lie between 0 and 260. Comment. For closed loop control system to be stable, k should be greater than 0, less than 260. Conditionally stable system. Conditionally stable system. I hope there is no confusion. If you have got any doubts regarding this, you can ask me. There are 4 branches. Each branch has to start on a pole and end on a 0. Again, let me explain. I'll wipe these numbers now. See, this is starting, this could be branch 1. Correct? This could be branch number, this could be branch number 2. Correct? This could be branch number 3. This could be branch number 4. That's what I was telling. What is important is this figure should be symmetrical with respect to real axis. Correct? A branch has to start on a pole and end on a 0. The branch has to start on a pole and end on a 0. I hope the concept is clear. Numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4 are written arbitrarily. Next problem. G of s, h of s is equal to k divided by s into s plus 2 into s square plus 2s plus 2. Problem statement is sketch the root locus. Sketch the root locus diagram or root locus plot. Step 1. Plot poles and zeros of g of s, h of s. Plot poles and zeros of g of s, h of s on the S plane. First let me mark the poles. Denominator polynomial equal to 0 will give you the poles. We have got poles at s is equal to 0. S plus 2 equal to 0 gives you s is equal to minus 2. S square plus 2s plus 2 equal to 0 gives you s is equal to minus 1 plus minus j1. Zeros. There are no finite zeros. There are no finite zeros. Correct? So let me plot now poles and zeros on the S plane. Sigma j omega 0 minus 2. This pole is minus 1 plus j1, minus 1 minus j1. Real part of these poles is minus 1. Right? The real part of these two complex poles is minus 1, which happens to be the midpoint of 0 and minus 2. Therefore, we can expect complex breakaway points. We can expect complex breakaway points. Let us see whether our expectations are fulfilled. Where poles are there, we shall write k equal to 0. Where poles are there, I will write k equal to 0. This is the S plane. Second step, k is equal to 0 points are s is equal to 0, minus 2, minus 1 plus j1, minus 1 minus j1. K equal to infinity points are s is equal to infinity, 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 infinity. Third one, a branch of the root locus, a branch of the root locus always starts on a pole. Pole means k is equal to 0 and ends on a 0. 0 means k is equal to infinity. Next, number of branches. Number of branches of the root locus. Number of branches of the root locus is equal to P or Z. P or Z, comma, whichever is greater, is equal to 4. 4 branches. Here P is 4 and Z is 0. Next is how to sketch the real axis locus. You take a point, see the right of that point. Number of poles plus zeros must be an odd number. Like in the previous problem, the real axis locus lies between 0 and minus 2 only. Next step, a point on the real axis, a point on the real axis will lie on the root locus, if number of poles plus zeros, number of poles plus zeros equals an odd number, to the right of the point, considered. Till step number 5, you can write very easily in any problem. Each step will carry 1 mark. So, passing the examination is not an issue. Understanding the root locus is the main issue, right? 6th point, number of asymptotes. Number of asymptotes is equal to P minus Z. P is 4, Z is 0, is equal to 4. Sigma A, centroid, is summation finite poles minus summation finite zeros divided by P minus Z. That means 0, minus 1 plus J1, minus 1 minus J1 minus 2. This summation is 0 because there are no finite zeros. Divided by 4 minus 0. So you get minus 1. Phi A is equal to 2 cube plus 1. Phi A represents the angle made by the asymptotes with respect to real axis. Phi A is 2 cube plus 1 into 180 degrees by P minus Z. Q takes values 0, 1, 2, 3. So you get phi A is equal to 45 degrees, like we did in the previous problem, 135 degrees, 225 degrees, 315 degrees, or minus 45 degrees. You get 45 degrees for Q equal to 0, 135 degrees for Q equal to 1, 225 degrees for Q equal to 2, 315 degrees for Q is equal to 3. In the examination, you require tremendous speed, otherwise you cannot complete the paper. If one asymptote is there, it will make an angle of 180. If two asymptotes are there, 90 minus 90. 3 asymptotes, 60, 180, 300. 4 asymptotes, phi A will be 45 degrees, 135 degrees, 225 degrees, 315 degrees. All this should be known to you by rote. In the examination, your pen should write, correct? That much speed you must develop. Now let me sketch the asymptotes. This is sigma A. Sigma A is equal to -1. This is asymptote number 1. It crosses imaginary axis at J1. This asymptote AS1 makes an angle 45 degrees with respect to real axis. This is asymptote number 3. This makes an angle of 225 degrees. This is asymptote number 4. It makes an angle of -45 degrees. This is asymptote number 2. Next point, a root locus is always symmetrical. A root locus is always symmetrical with respect to real axis. 8. To find breakaway points. The system characteristic equation is 1 plus g of s h of s equal to 0. This implies 1 plus k divided by s into s plus 2 into s square plus 2s plus 2 equal to 0. This implies s square plus 2s into s square plus 2s plus 2 plus k equal to 0. Remove the brackets. S to the power 4 plus 2s cube plus 2s square plus k plus 2s into s square is 2s cube plus 4s square plus 4s, so equal to what? 0. This implies you add s to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 6s square plus 4s plus k equal to 0. This is the characteristic equation. Let me write it down here. S to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 6s square plus 4s plus k equal to 0. Hence, k is equal to minus s to the power 4 minus 4s cube minus 6s square minus 4s. dk by ds equal to 0 implies minus 4s cube minus 12s square minus 12s minus 4 equal to 0. Divide through by minus 4, you get s cube plus 3s square plus 3s plus 1 equal to 0. This is nothing but s plus 1 whole cube is equal to 0. This implies s is equal to minus 1 minus 1. So what has happened here is the two complex breakaway points have merged to give you s is equal to minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. In the previous problem we had one real breakaway point and two complex breakaway points. Now what has happened is complex breakaway points are merged with the real breakaway point to give the roots minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. The value of k at s is equal to minus 1 in this expression minus s to the power 4 minus 4s cube minus 6s square minus 4s, put s is equal to minus 1. If you put s is equal to minus 1, the value of k will be 1. Hence, the breakaway point is s is equal to minus 1. Note, at the breakaway point, k should be real and positive. K should be real and positive. In the examination, you have to write the way I am writing. Don't give scope for the examiner to cut even 0.1 marks. Right? Show all the details. Next, we have got complex poles. Complex poles means we have to find the angle of departure. To find phi d, angle of departure. Make the pole zero diagram. S plane is a complex plane and real axis sigma, imaginary axis j omega. These are the two real poles. They are at 0 and -2. These are the two complex poles. These complex poles have got real part -1, imaginary parts plus j1 and minus j1. Minus j1. We want to find the angle of departure of this pole. So to this pole you draw vectors from other poles and zeros. This is phi p1. Phi p1 is equal to 90 degrees. This is phi p2. This is phi p3. Phi p3 is equal to 180 degrees minus phi p2. This is an isosceles triangle. So what is the formula? Angle of departure. Angle of departure of the pole at S is equal to -1 plus j1 is equal to 180 degrees minus sigma angle made by poles minus sigma angle made by zeros is equal to 180 degrees minus phi p1 plus phi p2 plus phi p3 minus 0 degrees. Phi p2 plus phi p3 is 180 degrees. Phi p1 is 90 degrees. Therefore, you get minus 90 degrees. Therefore, angle of departure of the pole at S is equal to -1 minus j1 is negative of minus 90 degrees, which is plus 90 degrees. Last one, to find intersection points on j omega axis. To find intersection points. To find intersection points on j omega axis and the range of k for closed loop stability. Range of k for closed loop stability. The system characteristic equation is s to the power 4 plus 4s cube plus 6s square plus 4s plus k equal to 0. Letting s is equal to j omega gives omega to the power 4 minus 4j omega cube minus 6 omega square plus 4j omega plus k is equal to 0 plus j0, equating real and imaginary parts, on both sides, equating real and imaginary parts, we get omega to the power 4 minus 6 omega square plus k equal to 0, equation 1, and minus 4 omega cube plus 4 omega equal to 0, equation 2. Since omega cannot be 0, we get omega is equal to plus minus 1 radians per second. Minus 4 omega square plus 4 equal to 0 gives you omega is equal to plus minus 1 radians per second. And k is what? K is minus omega to the power 4 plus 6 omega square evaluated at omega is equal to plus minus 1. You get k is equal to 5. Now I'll sketch the root locus. Please note, centroid and breakaway points are same. The point where asymptotes are crossing and where the root locus, where the branches of the root locus crossing are identical. See, root locus, the branches of the root locus cross j omega axis at plus j1 and minus j1, and they happen to be the intersection points of asymptotes on the imaginary axis. Therefore, asymptotes themselves are the branches. Also, the angles of departure of these two complex poles are minus 90 and plus 90. I repeat, the centroid and breakaway points are same. Intersection points of asymptotes and root locus branches are same. Angles of departure of these two poles are minus 90 and plus 90 respectively. Hence, the root locus is as shown here. So please watch. Let me draw the root locus and explain it to you. The branches are nothing but the asymptotes themselves. So let me trace the branches. See here, this pole can select any asymptote. Let us say it selects asymptote 1. Therefore, I will write this as branch 1 for your understanding. This pole also can select any asymptote. Let us assume that it selects asymptote AS3. This pole also can select any asymptote. Therefore, I will assume that it selects asymptote number 3. Asymptote number 2. This is branch 3. This pole selects asymptote number 4. See here, all the poles have got liberty to choose any asymptote. 4 branches have to be traced. Each branch has to start on a pole and end on a 0. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 here have been selected arbitrarily. Comment. Again repeat. This pole has selected AS1. This pole has selected asymptote 3. This pole has selected asymptote 2. This pole has selected asymptote 4. This is only my way of explanation. A student can take this pole to follow any asymptote. Accordingly, give the direction for the remaining poles. Comment. For closed loop stability, the value of k here is what? 5. Value of k at the breakaway point. Value of k at the breakaway point is 1. This is the breakaway point. Value of k at the breakaway point is 1. For closed loop stability, k should be greater than 0, less than 5. For these values of k, root locus will stay on the left hand side of the S-plane. In the direction of the arrows, k should be increasing. Here the value of k is 0, here the value of k is 1, here the value of k equal to 5. So common sense wise also, the values of k are in agreement with our convention. Correct? So again repeat, in the direction of the arrows, the k should be increasing. Here k is 0, here k is 1, and here k is 5. For closed loop stability, k should be more than 0, less than 5. For these values of k, root locus will remain on the left hand side of the S-plane. Since that the condition on k for stability, the system is called conditionally stable system. Conditionally stable system. Thank you. This finishes the problem.